Dealing with predators is nothing new for Montana ranchers. However, it does seem that the numbers of predators have been increasing, and that is creating a new set of challenges for producers. Those challenges are largely what prompted Janet Bucknall, the new Deputy Administrator for USDA Wildlife Services, to come to Montana last week and meet with ranchers to discuss the issues and potential solutions.
Our goal is to help people with wildlife damage problems. I came up through the program in the eastern part of the United States, and I've always loved the West. I started as Deputy Administrator in February, and one of my first visits was to come out here to Montana to learn more about the landscape. Wildlife damage management and livestock protection especially is part of Wildlife Services' heart and soul.
On her tour of Montana, Janet met with ranching families like Dave and Lenore McEwen to hear their concerns and get a better idea of what they're going through.
The producers have talked to me about grizzlies, about wolves, coyotes as always, but also mountain lions. And those big predators are very unique, especially with the grizzlies extending their range further east than they've traditionally been more towards the mountains. I think those, as populations are expanding, we're seeing predation. Those are some of the challenges we're seeing, just how to balance trying to protect livestock and conserve wildlife. And that's our probably will always be our challenge. And I think the solution will always be an integrated approach and ongoing and constant communication.
Janet says she'll now go back to Washington better equipped to explain the challenges and help give producers and wildlife managers the tools they need.
For me, I have to talk quick sometimes in D.C. You might have 10 minutes to explain why we, for example, need to use M44 or why we need to do this grizzly work. For me, I have a better understanding. I feel like I can explain that better, but also I have folks who I can call. I can call our specialists. I could talk to the McEwens if I need to reflect on something, to check in on, see if something would make sense out on this landscape. I feel like I have those connections now. I can do that. So hopefully this will help me be more effective in my job.
Dave McEwen said they're no stranger to predators in the Sweetgrass Hills, and they've had to adopt several tools to try to manage predators and protect their livestock.
The predators are smart, and what we've been forced to do is to use so many different tools in the bag. We all talk about non-lethal controls. That works very well for a while, and we have to coincide with some lethal measures. So we use so many different tools, and the best agency we have to help us with that is Wildlife Services, and that's why Janet Bucknall's out here today, so that she understands what we're going through in the state of Montana. The problem is when we get an endangered species in the area, and then those tools no longer become part of the playbook, and you actually have to take them out. Then you leave yourself open for an end run on coyotes, and the grizzly comes up the middle.
Dave says the grizzlies are becoming more difficult to manage, and he thinks some changes in policy may be necessary.
Well, the managing agencies have to step up. They have to recognize the fact that there are some bad bears in the system, and when these bears become bad, they have to remove them from the population. We have maybe not too many bears, but we got too many of the wrong kind of bears. And acceptance or tolerance of the bear is only going to come when you get rid of the bad bears.
There's no easy answer in how to best manage predators, but both wildlife officials and producers are encouraged that by working together and providing a better understanding, they can protect livestock and provide for conservation of our wildlife. For the Northern Ag Network, I'm Colter Brown.